think he's been one of those players, isn't there? There's been question marks over him and what his impact looked like. Jason mentions those cameo appearances, and I think that's what he had become renowned for, that it only would be a cameo appearance. And that's why at times it's so important, though, to keep your squad together and keep everybody feeling like they're part of something, because football changes so quickly, whether it's injuries, suspensions, just now COVID, everything. You could be required at any moment in time. So I think it was credit to Scott Wright, because he probably has come under a bit of pressure and a bit of criticism. I don't think he was as much of a standout in the first half. I think he certainly stood up to the challenge second half, along with Sakala, who's another player that I think, again, there's been question marks over. But it's over to them now, because there is limited options for Rangers, and they need these players to come to the forefront and make a difference. So I was impressed with Scott Wright. I think he showed signs of the reason why he's at Rangers. The reason why the club signed him and brought him there.
Peter, your eyebrow went up when Jason was saying there could have been a red card as well for the Motherwell player.
I agree.
Could have been.
I agree. When you talk about the modern day, they talk about harsh and the tackle and going over the ball and the power behind the tackle. You can see all these things happened, and I could, if you'd got a red card for that, you couldn't have probably complained. But as I say, I'm never one for, I like tackles in the games anyway, so I think the modern day game, it obviously get away with murder. Some people get sent off for nothing now, so I'm always on the side of the player. But I can see the reason why. If one goes, the other one was definitely right on the cusp, and that could have definitely happened. On the Scott Wright situation, I worked with Scott when we were away with Scotland, the 21s, whatever. He's got great pace. He likes the game in front of him. It could be one of these things that work in Rangers' favour going into Leipzig, because Leipzig have got a lot of pace in their team. Him and Sakala, both of them are not good at receiving the ball. Both of them like to run, so they like to go behind. And the likes of Leipzig and that, they like to push their full-backs on, that leave space in these wide areas, and that maybe be the outball for Rangers more than actually going through the middle of the pitch and up to a striker where usually the ball gets held in. So it could work out in their favour.
That kind of looked like maybe what the tweak to the system was, Peter. I think that was, and it actually did suit Sakala and Wright
absolutely
much more than what you've seen, because they do normally play, if it's a Morelos or a Roof, it's up to feet, get the midfield playing off them, runners then going beyond. But they started a lot deeper, and I thought that was the difference in Sakala. At times I don't think he's great dribbling with the ball, but certainly when it's the time and space to get going, there's no stopping him. And I thought he was, the word I used for him on Saturday night, he was honest, because in a couple of occasions that he made a difference, he could have actually went down, he could have ground to a halt, the shirt pull and just outside the penalty. Other players would have kind of threw the hands up and went, get them in the book. But he played to try and get an end product, and that's what I
remember. We played Arsenal with West Ham, and we could have put 10 in the middle of the pitch and they kept the ball off us.
Jason, you listen to this. We played Arsenal. I love this chat.
This is the thing, because a player that was very similar to Sakala was a boy called Marlon Harewood, who was lightning quick, wasn't a great receiver at the ball, strong as a bull, but could run. And we thought, Arsenal keep pushing their full-backs on, and we thought we could play 10 in there and they'll still keep the ball off us. So every time we won the ball, we went into the full-back area. Every single time, never tried to get through them. We ended up beating them 3, scored 3 at Highbury. It was at Highbury the game, we scored 3 at Highbury, I think, winning 3-1, I think it was. It was the night Sol Campbell walked off at half-time and chucked it, really, because we kept getting in with so much pace. But we knew that was his space. And I'm looking at the game on Saturday, I'm thinking that's something Rangers could do by Sakala. If you don't have the centre forward you could play, like say, Arfield a little bit deeper off it, but play your centre forward to the right hand side. And it's somewhere you could talk, because these teams like to come forward, they like to fling their full backs out. Centre backs don't want to be going out there, especially against pace. So I'm thinking that's something that Rangers maybe look at and could use as a tactic within the game against Leipzig.
Jason,
tell Alexa to launch Go Radio, or listen on the Go Radio app.